Many Canadians are hearing claims that the federal government is moving to limit access to natural remedies by imposing new regulations. This creates understandable anxiety, especially for people who rely on natural products as part of their daily health routine. The allegation is that new rules will shrink the range of available remedies, restrict personal choice, and amount to a quiet attack on individual freedom. It is important to step back from the rhetoric and look closely at what Ottawa is actually doing. When we examine the official documents and regulatory changes, a different picture emerges, one in which the focus is on clearer information, better safety standards, and more reliable quality control, rather than on restricting what Canadians can buy or use. The claim that the federal government is trying to limit natural remedies or restrict Canadians' freedom to choose them is not supported by the evidence. What is happening instead is a modernization of existing rules that govern natural health products. Health Canada is tightening labeling standards, improving safety monitoring, and updating manufacturing requirements so that products are safer, clearer, and more consistent. These changes do not amount to a ban on any category of natural remedies, nor do they reduce the number of products Canadians can access. The popular freedom storyline misrepresents regulatory housekeeping and consumer protection as government overreach, even though there is no indication that Ottawa intends to restrict access to natural remedies. Canada has had a regulatory framework for natural health products for many years. Companies that manufacture or sell these products must obtain licenses for each product, submit evidence to support their health claims, and follow good manufacturing practices to ensure quality and safety. The objective is simple: products must be safe, properly labeled, and honestly marketed. This framework does not limit herbal, homeopathic, probiotic, or traditional remedies, nor does it dictate what Canadians are allowed to take. Instead, it sets a baseline of consumer protection so that when people choose natural remedies, they can have confidence that the label is accurate and the product meets basic safety standards. Recent changes have updated this framework to reflect modern expectations. Labels will be clearer, with a standardized product facts table that makes it easier to understand what a product contains, how it should be used, and what risks or allergens might be present. The revised Good Manufacturing Practices Guide, coming into force in March 2026, strengthens quality control, including batch testing, expiry date validation, and tracking through the supply chain. Enhanced safety powers allow Health Canada to intervene more quickly when a product is unsafe or misleading. Oversight is shifting toward a risk-based approach, bringing natural remedies closer to the standards expected for over-the-counter medicines. These are technical and practical improvements that increase safety and transparency. They do not remove remedies from the market or reduce the range of choices available to Canadians, but they are sometimes misrepresented as if they did. The false freedom narrative grows out of the way some political actors and advocacy groups frame these updates. Instead of presenting them as consumer protection measures, they describe them as an ideological attempt to control personal health decisions. Routine labeling requirements are portrayed as government interference. Standard safety rules are cast as threats to autonomy. Stronger oversight is assumed to be a prelude to bans, despite the absence of any such measures in the actual regulations. This framing is powerful because it taps into broader anxieties about overreach and control, but it does not match the reality of the policy. It relies on exaggeration and speculation rather than on the actual text of the rules, and it leaves people more fearful and less accurately informed about what is really changing. For consumers, the practical impact of these updates is largely positive. Natural remedies will continue to be available, but they will be supported by clearer labels and more robust quality standards. People will find it easier to understand what they are taking, how to use it safely, and what risks might apply. Stronger manufacturing standards reduce the chance of contamination, dosage inconsistency, or poor quality ingredients. There may be a temporary period where some products are reformulated, relabeled, or briefly withdrawn while companies adapt to the new rules, but this is part of the transition, not a deliberate effort to shrink the market. Once that transition is complete, Canadians will still have access to a wide range of natural remedies, with better information and safeguards than before. Taken together, the evidence shows that Ottawa is not trying to limit natural remedies or undermine personal freedom. The regulatory updates are aimed at improving the safety, clarity, and quality of products that are already on the market. Claims that the government is restricting access or targeting natural health choices are not borne out by the regulatory texts or by the stated policy objectives. Instead, they reflect a political narrative that misrepresents consumer protection measures as an attack on individual rights. Canadians retain full freedom to select and use natural remedies, and they stand to benefit from clearer labeling, better manufacturing standards, and more effective safety oversight. The analysis is grounded in several types of sources. Official Health Canada pages describe how natural health products are regulated, outlining licensing requirements, evidence standards, and the purpose of the Natural Health Products Regulations. Detailed regulatory and guidance documents explain the new labeling rules, the standardized product facts table, and the timelines for implementation. The updated Good Manufacturing Practices Guide sets out the requirements for quality control, batch testing, and expiry validation, clarifying what is expected of manufacturers and importers. Canada Gazette publications provide the formal legal text for regulatory amendments and exemption orders, making it clear how and when the changes take effect. The overview of Vanessa's Law explains how expanded safety powers allow authorities to act more quickly when a product is unsafe. Independent legal and policy commentaries from law firms and oversight bodies, such as the Office of the Auditor General, add context on how these rules work in practice and where previous gaps in oversight existed. Together, these sources confirm that the intent of the changes is to improve safety and transparency, not to limit access to natural remedies. Viewers can pause here to review the full citations and follow the links to the source material. For more fact-based content about Canadian politics, democratic health, economic trends, and rhetorical analysis, the Facts for Canadians platforms offer ongoing resources and educational material. These outlets aim to strengthen public understanding, improve media literacy, and support evidence-based democratic engagement.